Good Monday. I'm Kris Foate. This is Monday Morning Jolt. Let's get started. Shirona?
Good morning. Today we have a radio personality, and he's also a DJ, many things. And this guy has been doing this stuff forever. I'm not just trying to tell you age, but here in town, this guy is known as Tiny, and he has been like pretty popular. So Steve Tiny Michaels is with us today. And Steve, tell us all this stuff that you do. I mean, I know you do a lot.
Well, I do work for 92.3 The Fort, and I've been doing that for about 13 years. In addition, I have my own business, Tiny Tunes and Tiny Bubbles. We do DJ work for weddings specifically, as well as corporate parties and private parties. And then the Tiny Bubbles part is something that we added about 3 years ago, where we go out and do children's parties, and that's been very successful for us.
You also do voiceovers?
I do voiceover. I do voiceover work. You might hear me on television occasionally, and of course on the radio as well.
Yeah. And to add something, I went to his website and tried to find a song that he does not have. I don't know how he does it. He has pretty much like every song that ever came out.
We started Tiny Tunes unofficially probably 1979. I was the guy that used to flip the records over at the parties and play the B-side of the Loverboy album, play the B-side of the Frankie and the Knockouts album, and we went from there. I've survived the vinyl era. I've survived the cards. I've survived CDs, in the process of putting all the CDs on a hard drive now. So, you know, we've seen the technology change, but the basic premise that somebody wants to go out and have fun and enjoy their party remains the same, no matter, you know, what era you're talking about.
But the surprising thing is, like, even the one-hit wonder groups, you have like 10, 20 songs from those. I didn't even know that they had an album.
Well, a lot of them do have an album, and if you're going to go obscure, you might as well go obscure all the way. I've got a couple songs actually that might embarrass some local people that have been put out locally. We're not going to mention any names, but Barry, you know who you are.
Well, as you know, this is Monday Morning Jolt. So we'd like to know, if they are, why are Mondays great for you?
Mondays are great for me, honestly, because it's the first day of my weekend a lot of times. You know, we're out. I work at the radio station anywhere from Monday through Sunday, but parties and receptions, things of that nature, generally take place on the weekend. So while everybody else is looking forward to Friday afternoon really begins the bulk of my work week.
You're gearing up.
And so Monday is the day that you can go, we had a lot of fun, you know, a lot of success, and then you get ready to start it all over again.
So really it's the start of your work week. It isn't necessarily Monday. So how do you have a certain way you start your work week?
Generally, you look back on the previous week, like I said, bask a little bit in the successes, try to figure out what went wrong, what went right, and just retool and get ready for the week ahead.
One of the things that I want to emphasize is, like, you have been doing this for a long time, right? And then you have sustainability, which is kind of hard in any business, especially in your business. It's so competitive, right? So what advice can you give to other businesses? Like, how did you sustain this? And is it your personality, or is it your work habits?
First of all, you have to get into something you love. I knew when I started pounding a nail into the concrete wall of my parents' basement when I was 4 in order to pretend to be Engineer John, who used to be on Channel 33 here in Fort Wayne, that I wanted to be in the media. I worked toward that goal. No one would hire me in radio when I was too young to do it, so I started out DJing. And in 1981, I would say that is where I based the beginning of Tiny Tunes, because that's when I went out, got the professional equipment, and started taking it seriously, as opposed to just being the guy at the party. I was now the guy at the party that everyone knew would show up and do the proper professional job.
So so what you're saying is, Steve, like if you're in business, you have to be passionate about what you do, and you have to get good at it.
Well, you have to be good at it, and you know, not every business is cut out for every person, despite their love for it. But if you find something you love, it's a lot easier to maintain a level of success in that business than it is if it's something that you're just going in to get a paycheck.
Right. So if you had to sum up your philosophy, or if you had an adage by which you lived, what would that be?
You know, Mike Veck wrote a book a few years back. Mike Veck is the son of Bill Veck that used to own the Chicago White Sox, among other teams. And Bill Veck and Mike Veck and I think, share the same philosophy. Fun is good. If you can't have fun at what you're doing, you really need to go out and find something that you can have fun at, because life is far too short to hate what you do 40, 50, 60 hours a week.
That's right.
Sometimes even more.
But I'm working a lot. And let me see, do you have, if you could pick any superpower, what would it be? It doesn't have to be any of the standards. You can make up your own.
Well, you know, I used to think X-ray vision would be fun.
I
for several reasons.
Everybody bought those out of the comic book.
The X-ray specs, I don't know that they ever worked, except that made your vision a little blurry. I would like to be able to travel in time. I would like to be able to go back. I have a love of history and architecture as well as music, and I would like to go back and see how some things have evolved and maybe change some things. You never know. I know that messes with the space-time continuum and all those things, but you know,
some of it should be messed with.
Some of it should be messed with. So I would say, yeah, possibly time travel of some sort.
Okay. And for those who know you well, they probably think they know everything there is to know about you. But tell us something that would surprise even those who know you the best.
I used to have a banana yellow leisure suit. I survived that era too. So yeah,
Did you have a monkey named George too?
I never had a monkey named George.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Curious George. Yep.
So that's it? That's your only deep, dark secret?
Probably the only one I want to share on camera.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes. So, anyway, how do people get hold of you? Your website, your phone number, and that sort of stuff.
Phone number is 433-3331 locally, 888-629-0595 from anywhere in the tri-state area. You can check tinytoonsdjs.com, and we've just added a domain that I hope to expand for adult and senior citizen bubble parties for like nursing homes and things along those lines. Right now the bubble parties are concentrated for kids, but greatbubbleparties.com right now will take you to the Tiny Toons website, and eventually will be a separate standalone website.
Yeah, that's great.
That's great. So we would like to thank Steve for coming in today and joining us and giving great advice. I strongly recommend you to know him, and I would like to thank you for watching. This is Monday Morning Jolt. Use it.